Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix. Hey, it's the Political Matrix. Once again, boys and girls, glad to have you with us. Rob Milford holding things down in Orlando. We're doing this it is Tuesday the 28th. We're waiting for the judge to charge the jury in the Donald Trump case in New York City. We'll just hold that right there. So no verdict or anything yet. I love the story that came out of where? CNN with an attorney saying that, now this is a Democratic attorney. This is a guy who goes there on a regular basis. He goes, let me tell you, the New York City prosecutor did not prove the case. They fell way short of proving the case against Trump, just based on reasonable doubt. And he said, they put Michael Cohen up, the biggest lying loser on the planet, and that was their key witness. And I would add a Texasism here, and that dog did not hunt. But the thing we'll wait and see how that plays out, because the important thing today is polls. Each of us, wait a minute. Okay, we're going to do the blow with a freakout. Okay. And I'm not talking about Le Freak by Chic. I'm talking about the Democrats in a full-on freakout. Story came over 4:30, 5 o'clock on Tuesday morning, the day after Memorial Day. And they go, and this is from Politico, the true insider publication. It skews left. Dems in full-blown freakout over Biden. One major advisor keeps a list of reasons that Biden can lose. Gentlemen, Scott Miller is joining us from Pensacola. Greg Fink is in Gainesville. Guys, you take it. What you think?
Well, I'll tell you what was interesting to me was on CNN. They ran a segment that included James Carville, and James Carville got a lot of pushback from, who was this commentator, Kate Bedingfield, who criticized him because he said that the problem with the Democrats campaign this year is that they're full of shit. And as a matter of fact, his exact well, and you can just hear Carville saying this. He says the Democrats' messaging on topics like student loans and the plight of galas was so full of shit and was causing the party to lose young people and minorities. Two demographics that are traditionally very strong points for the Democrats.
Leaving in droves.
And in fact, the Democrats, were only, they had like 83 or 87% traditionally of all the black vote. And the belief was if they ever lost that, if the Republicans ever gained more than the 13% that they traditionally would get, that they would, that's when the Democrat Party was doomed. Well, brother, they're losing way more than 13% at this point.
They are losing a lot more than that. I mean, the whole idea, I think actually your first story that we talked about with the New York City trial, I think actually explains the blowout, that the freak out that the Democrats are having. Actually, I think I might answer their freak out, because that is the only fucking way they're going to be able to beat Donald Trump in general election, is getting him in jail and getting him to where he is not votable and not electable and not be able to serve any time. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, right now, the polls are just going insanely good for Trump, and it should be going insanely bad. I mean, the economy is supposedly getting better. In fact, Biden was actually trying to justify on a news thing why the inflation being at 8.3% is good. He says, well, it didn't spike. It's staying level. It could have gone worse. I mean, it's the highest it's ever been. And this is a CBS anchor. He's like, but aren't you surprised this is the highest inflation in the history of America? He said, but it could be worse. I'm like, of course it could be worse.
Yeah.
You're the president.
The Titanic had an ice problem,
too. You're justifying 8.3%. I mean, the whole idea, the Democrats should be freaking out every which way. He wants to give away everything he can to everybody. And basically, the entire case on a hooker and a whore in New York City. He should be nothing but extortion case against her. For that's the only reason why there is hush money. That's kind of I've talked about in the past, is because there's extortion or blackmail on their parts. And so basically a blackmail case being put out by the Democrat Party is the only hope that they have for them to win a blackmail case, to imprison a victim of blackmail, to put him in jail because he was blackmailed improperly and he got arrested because he didn't handle their shenanigans in the right way legally, and which was illegal. It's all clusterfuck.
It is absolutely. Now, one more thing, we got to bring this in perspective. Over the last 2 weeks, Donald Trump has had not one but two rallies in the metro New York area. One in New Jersey, where he said it was 80,000 people. A picture taken before the event started showed a legit 40,000 people. That was a couple hours before it started.
It says over 100,000. It's over 100,000 people there. I got a friend who was there.
Okay. Then there was the one in the Bronx. Then there was the one in the Bronx. And the numbers on that were like, are you freaking kidding me? Are there that many people there in the Bronx?
In New York City.
Can you get any more Democratic minority than any place on earth than the Bronx?
The exact point. I mean, these polls, and one thing, Scott and I have always been critical of these pollsters for years because they've been doing horrible jobs. But one thing, Kellyanne Conway, who actually is, granted, she's biased because she's with Trump, but she's also, before she was with Trump, she was a very good pollster. Well, actually one of the best out there. And she said that the way they're asking questions is literally the way that she's been begging them to ask questions. We've been begging them to ask questions for decades. They finally woke up and they tired of getting embarrassed like they have been. I mean, right now, under the next segment, we'll go deeper into some polls. There's all these liberal media that has the entire idea that Biden his disapproval is very high. And so, the whole idea is that they're finally catching up to the game. It's taken long enough for all these PhDs to figure it out. I'm very glad that they caught up, and hopefully they're going to be good this year and the end result. But yeah, the polls are looking really, really good for Trump.
And you think the polls are doing bad now? Wait till they have the actual first debate.
Yeah.
June the 27th.
If it happens.
That's okay. Let me take 1 minute here to talk about it. I'm on the clock. If it happens. Okay, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, the two-man show that replaced Rush Limbaugh. Same network. Right. They just took the seats. They each had a show. They combined the two. It's great dialogue. Today, on Tuesday, the 27th, 28th. On Tuesday, the 28th of May, they argued as to what happens. Let's say Biden has a crappy, horrible, terrible, why did I get out of bed debate in a month. They speculate. Buck is saying he's gone. Democrats are going to be done with him. They're going to find a way to get him, except he won all the primaries with no opposition. So, and then Clay says, well, you got to put Kamala in there. And after Buck stopped choking on his Diet Coke because he was laughing so hard, he goes, no, really. I find that to be absolutely fascinating. And as we will talk about coming up in the next segment, when it comes to polls, the magical number for polls is when you get down below 35% approval and your disapproval is 60% or higher. I saw a poll today, well, it wasn't today's poll, but in a summation, where it showed Biden's disapproval was 60%. So Kamala gets that as well. The Democrats are going to have to come up with a whole new game, a whole new lineup, and start from zero by the 4th of July when Biden makes his farewell speech, that I'm not up to the rigors of the campaign and so forth. But I would bet you even money that there will be no first debate. He's going to play from the garage or play from the basement. And I would, if I was advising Trump, I'd tell him to do the very same thing. So there you go. That's Greg Fink. That's Scott Miller. What? Go ahead.
No, I just disagree. The thing is that Trump's strength is out in the world.
True.
Biden's, ironically, is in his basement.
Yes.
Basement Biden.
Yeah, I know. Aren't we fortunate, blessed to live in such a crazy time of politics? We'll be back with you for episode 2 here on the 28th of May. I'm Rob. That's Scott. That's Greg. And you are listening and watching and viewing the Political Matrix blogcast.